Best game 5 underway after an inning with the Dodgers on top 2-0, trying to put yesterday behind them. It's the curse and blessing of baseball. It's the ultimate spectator sport for those of us with short memories. Get right back out there and play.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. And in regular season, of course, you play 162 games, and you can't dwell on the previous night outcome, good or bad.
Tyler Glasnow back to work. He had some good and some bad in the first inning. Yielded 2 runs but struck out 3, and Jock Peterson's the first to face him. Peterson, Barnes, and then the top of the order, Betts. On Tuesday night in Game 1, Glasnow really carved up the 8 and 9 spots of the Dodgers order. Faced Peterson and Barnes a total of 4 times. Struck them out 4 times.
Yeah, he's got to really conserve some pitches in his inning after throwing 34 pitches in the first inning. He's got to have an efficient inning and keep that pitch count in a workable number. They need some length from it. As you mentioned, Matt, both bullpens were really taxed last night. Remember, Glasnow and Snell both were throwing in the 9th inning for Tampa Bay in last night's game. But I don't think that had an impact whatsoever on Glasnow's ability to start this game.
Breaking ball misses to Peterson. It's 1-2.
Snell will start on Tuesday night in Game 6. When you really look at it, the Rays have their top 3 pitchers lined up for 5, 6, and 7. Charlie Morton would pitch a Game 7.
Peterson on a 1-2 pitch. Well struck out to deep center field and gone. Ironically, Clayton Kershaw among those that he has tied in that futility record. So now it's Austin Barnes. The 1-0 pitch to him misses off the corner.
Pitch up and out over the plate, and Peterson knows he got enough of it to hit it into the bullpen in left center. He barreled it up out over the plate.
Jock Peterson is the anti-left-handed hitter in that you hear it often. Most left-handed hitters like it down and in. He gets on top of that ball up and away.
Yeah, came off the bat at 106 miles an hour, and he hit it deep into the bullpen in left center.
So after the homer, Glasnow has fallen behind the number 9 hitter Austin Barnes 3-0. And he walks him on 4 pitches. Kyle Snyder and Kevin Cash are talking about a contingency plan. If they see something they don't like with Glasnow, they don't have a whole lot of latitude with him tonight.
Yeah, and they're trying to figure out where they go next. And Snyder has given Cash some suggestions. It looks like they're going to get their bullpen going early on here.
Nobody throwing, but there are people walking around as we speak. And now it's Mookie Betts who opened the ball game with a double. Betts doubled and then scored in front of the Seager single, and a curveball flipped up for a strike. Betts was the one Dodger that had seen the most of Tyler Glasnow in the past. He was 3 for 11 for him entering Game 1, and then they went hitless that night. Another curveball. This one sent harmlessly out into left field for out number 1.
Kiermaier anchors a very good defense with Margot in left and Renfroe in right. 3-time Gold Glove winner, left off the ballot for the Gold Glove nomination. 3 outfielders in center nominated. He wasn't among them.
The Rays have not committed an error in their last 6 postseason games. Only 1 error in their last 12. One out, one on for Corey Seager. Runner goes, throw down to second base on Barnes. He slid off the bag and he's out at second base.
Yeah, it looked like he had beat the throw into second, but Adames stayed with him as Barnes just couldn't hang on to the bag at second base and slides past it. Watch Adames as he stays with the base runner, and he came off the base. He beat the tag initially, but then comes right off the base, and Adames says all infielders do now. They stay with that base runner. Keep the tag on him.
2 balls and no strikes to Seager, so a chance for Glass now, thanks in part to the caught stealing, to wiggle off what looked like a wonky start to the inning. And yeah, Barnes clearly comes off the bag. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-0. He lost Barnes on 4 straight pitches.
Yeah, you don't want to be throwing anything right over the middle on this 3-0 pitch. Well, he got away with one. Like Corey was taken all the way. That surprised me.
Yeah. 3 balls and a strike to count to Seager, who singled in that first inning run. There's ball 4. Already the 3rd walk of the game by Glass now.
I don't think Tampa Bay can wait much longer. They were hopeful that Glasnow would be able to be more aggressive in the strike zone, but that hasn't been the case early on.
I mean, with the pitch count being where it is, and you pointed it out in the first, they'd be fortunate to get 4 innings out of him tonight. Here's Justin Turner now. He struck out in the first. 8 for 19 in World Series play. Another good note on Turner and the 2 first-inning homers in games 3 and 4. He's the 3rd player in Major League history to hit 2 first-inning homers in a World Series. Mickey Hatcher from the '88 Dodgers, and Alex Bregman, who did it last year with the Astros. Only one player has hit 3 first-inning homers in a World Series. None other than Babe Ruth. Ball and no strikes to Turner here in the second. In the air, out to left center field. Not deep enough to do any damage. And despite the homer and a pair of walks, it's just a 1-run inning for Los Angeles. Dodgers off to a high-flying start, scoring in each of their first 2 innings after an inning and a half. 3-0 LA. And K's to walk ratio and the best whip in baseball. And it goes on and on and on here, Buck.
Yeah, and when you see what he's done with the Dodgers over 13 seasons, he's first in win percentage, second in ERA, and he's just been a terrific pitcher. And it's really interesting how there's a heck of a bunt right there, and Margot gets it started.
Wow.
Well, that was perfect. That ball stayed true right up the third baseline. Turner made a nice play of it, but Margot runs so well. He starts things off with a bunt single here against Kershaw. But Kershaw's been one of the best pitchers since he's come into the major leagues. No chance at all for Turner right there. That was a perfectly executed bunt by Margot. Boy, he deadens it, and that's a pretty good indicator right there that that ball's going to stay fair, and Turner came after it. A great execution. This is lost art.
Man, that was really impressive. Just Hunter Renfroe now with Margot aboard, and he will run, by the way. 12 stolen bases during the regular season. This is the part of the Rays lineup which once again is the most familiar with Clayton Kershaw. Between Margot and Renfroe, you're talking about 48 combined at-bats thanks to their time in San Diego. Does not necessarily mean they've had a lot of success. 48 combined at-bats and only 8 hits. They've also combined for 16 strikeouts. Renfroe hit a tape measure homer yesterday, 444 feet away. That one not as far. Kershaw thought about second, but is satisfied with the out at first.
Yeah, he made a good choice right there. It was going to be a difficult throw for him, as he really didn't have time to set his feet and make a throw to second, and plus factor in the speed of Margot. He'll take a look at second base, and it was going to be a challenge for him to get his feet on the ground and then make an accurate throw. So he wisely decides to take the sure out at first base and concede second to Margot.
So a runner in scoring position now for Joey Wendell, who was used as a pinch runner yesterday and ended up getting an at-bat last night. A couple of doubles in World Series play, and he takes a strike. The Rays use a platoon at third base, and they'll play Mike Brasso over there against left-handers. Wendell gets the other games, so you might be asking, why then does Wendell get 2 starts against Clayton Kershaw as a left-handed hitter? Kevin Cash explained that to us before the game. They just think Wendell is that good a player, and they have Kershaw as a bit of a reverse splits guy.
Yeah, he's not really dominant against lefties. It's kind of equal. So there was no real platoon advantage, and you see what Wendell does. He hangs in there against lefties for the season. Doesn't have a whole lot of power against him, and in this World Series, in the postseason, he's 2 for 12 against lefties.
To your point, Kershaw has done good work against right-handers this year. A few more homers, but a sub-200 batting average. 0-2 the count to Joey Wendell. You know, we talk about Kershaw's resume, and we kind of ran down the ranks, franchise history, major league ranks since '69. The one thing that's missing, of course, is the World Series ring. He's one of 10 pitchers who've won 3 or more Cy Young awards, but he's the only one in that group that has not won a World Series.
Well, it's quite a group, too, when you look at the names on that list. Clemens with 7, Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, Hall of Famers, Sandy Koufax, Pedro Martinez, Jim Palmer, and the late Tom Seaver. And Kershaw's the only one on that list still looking for that ring.
Two-two to Wendell, fouled away again. He's hanging around.
Kershaw's made a couple of real good pitches to the inside part of the plate, and obviously a left-handed hitter like Wendell's got to be thinking that slider's coming at some point.
Willie Adames waiting on deck with the runner in scoring position and 1 away. Curveball, and Kershaw gets a call on a pitch up around the eyes. Wow.
Yeah, that was a tough call right there on Joey Wendell. Looked like he had his eye on it the whole way and saw it as a ball up. But Kershaw gets the call. It's not the slider, but it's the curveball. And this looks like it's clearly a ball upstairs. That's a tough strikeout for Joey Wendell. He had a pretty good eye on it, and then he's surprised to hear strike 3 called behind it. First strikeout of the game for Kershaw.
So 2 gone now for Adames, with Margot still in scoring position. Marvin Hudson has the plate tonight, and the last time Marvin Hudson worked home plate was Game 5 of the ALCS between the Yankees and the Rays, the ALDS that is, when Tyler Glasnow drew Garrett Cole, and there were 24 strikeouts in that game. Curveball hit on the ground. Turner picks it on the line, hops the throw. Good play by Muncy to retire the side. 2 scoreless for Kershaw tonight. Some help on the corners and a still 3-0 lead for LA. Dodgers get 2 in the first. RBI singles by Corey Seager and Cody Bellinger. They counter with another in the second on the Peterson homer. And they'll look for more here in the third with Max Muncy leading things off. Muncy, Smith, and Bellinger against Glasnow, who, as was the case on Tuesday, is having some command issues again tonight.
3 walks in the first 2 innings, and he's thrown 51 pitches to this point. And threw 112 pitches in game 1 over a course of 4 and a third innings.
And Muncy takes a strike. Max Muncy is one of the leading home run threats in the Dodgers lineup. Yet of everybody in tonight's lineup for Dave Roberts, he's the only guy who hasn't homered. He has a base hit, however. A single into the corner, and the Dodgers have their leadoff hitter aboard.
Well, he's been on base twice again tonight. He walked in the first. Now he rips a single into right field. And no matter how many pitches he takes, he can get on a fastball, man. He hooks this one down the line. He's taking about 2, but he kind of gets a tough bounce off the fence down the right field line. And he's got a lot of respect for Renfroe's arm in right field. He barrels up another heater. And he can turn on a fastball.
Here's Will Smith now. Dodgers have put their leadoff hitter aboard in all 3 innings they've opened against Glasnow tonight. That includes, of course, Peterson's leadoff homer in the second. 2-0. And now we've got the Rays bullpen getting busy in earnest. Jackets coming off. Bullpen catcher's gear going on. A shortening leash for Glasnow tonight. 2-1.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to wait a long time, and that looks like Ryan Thompson as he'll start to loosen up for the Rays. Well, he's been effective in short bursts for them in the postseason.
Man, the short start, it just makes it so hard to cobble together 9 innings. Considering the use the last couple of nights in particular. 2-2 now to Smith. And for me, it's been the curveball location for Glasnow that has betrayed him. And if a 2-pitch pitcher doesn't have command over one of his 2 pitches,
he becomes a 1-pitch pitcher, and that's trouble.
We know what happens there.
No matter how hard you throw, when hitters worry about just 1 pitch, they're going to catch up to you.
2 balls and 2 strikes. He just hasn't had that big, heavy hammer that we've seen him and that we know he's capable of. He just hasn't had it tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to the catcher, Will Smith, who's DHing tonight, by the way. Muncy at first with nobody out. Full count.
And Smith struck out on a high fastball his first time up. 98 miles an hour up and away, and he chased what might have been ball 4.
Let's see if they go up there again. They do, and they get him again.
Same spot. This one at 99. You just got to think that Glasnow is going to try to develop a 3rd pitch. You would like to see him develop some kind of changeup where he can get him off his fastball a bit. But that's always been a challenge for pitchers. That changeup has always been an elusive pitch for a lot of different pitchers. But boy, it can be a heck of a weapon.
There's Cody Bellinger now. Bellinger singled in a run with 2 out in a 2-strike count in the first. just amazing. The Dodgers have scored better than 35% of their runs in 2-out, 2-strike counts in this series. Swing and a miss. It bounces away, and it's an easy advance for Muncy.
Third wild pitch that the Dodgers have taken advantage of so far in this game. Another hard breaking ball in the dirt. It bounces away from Zunino. He tried to square it up, but it goes up the third baseline far enough for Max Muncy to advance.
We are efforting the futility record for the most wild pitches by a pitcher in a single World Series game. 3 and counting for Glasnow tonight. The 0-2. And he strikes out Bellinger.
There's that curveball you were talking about, the one that's got a little more depth, and he doesn't try to throw it so hard. He's much more patient with it. He gets much better rotation and spin on it. Watch the depth of this curveball. There's the break he's been looking for, just 84 miles an hour, but a very effective curveball.
He threw a good one to strike out Turner. And that's his best one since. 5 strikeouts for Glasnow now. Here's Chris Taylor again. He struck out in the first. He has really kept Mike Zunino on his toes tonight.
Yeah, he has. He even crossed him up once just for good measure. Just to make sure he was going to pay attention.
3 wild pitches. I mean, you lock in.
He hit him in the mask when he crossed him up.
Swung the bat on the appeal. It's 1-1 to Chris Taylor.
Well, I don't know if he did go around. Looked like he pretty clearly checked it, but the call goes against him. Let's take another look at him.
Also looked like that could have been called for a strike. It looked like it grabbed the upper corner of the strike zone, but it was called on the swing.
Yeah, he did indeed swing at him.
Glasnow trying to strand the leadoff single. Another fastball that sails high. Those are regular season numbers. He and his staff mate Blake Snell, 7 wild ones. That came in 11 starts. Taylor sharply hit to second for Lau. Well, despite another wild pitch, which, by the way, is a World Series record 3rd from Tyler Glasnow, it's a scoreless inning, still 3-0 LA. Time tonight, 3-0 is the Rays' deficit as they go to work against Clayton Kershaw in the last half of inning number 3. They'll send Kiermaier, Zunino, and top of the order Yandy Diaz to the plate.
Kiermaier, he had a tough night going last night. He struck out in his first 2 at-bats, and then he squares up a Baez changeup, and that tied the game once again. And Kiermaier, he's got some power. He has a tendency to overswing, but, you know, he got hit in the hand in the championship series, missed a couple of games, and that hand's probably not 100% yet, so he's probably just taking a nice, relaxed swing, and that ball jumped off his bat last night.
First pitch to Kiermaier here after homering against Kershaw Tuesday. It's fouled away. Yeah, the homer yesterday was fun in terms of the reaction. This was before the game. His wife and son, hey, I'm going to hit one for you. Son said, yeah, just like that, Dad. Have another grape. You talked about his being hit in the hand as he falls behind Kershaw. I love Kevin Cash's comments with us earlier today when he admitted that, you know, when Kiermaier's feeling perfect and strong and healthy, he's not as good of a hitter. It's when he's a little dinged up and he doesn't try to do as much when he's effective.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, and obviously Cash knows Kiermaier very well, and he says when he's getting hits by a pitch here in this series by Paredes of the Astros, he missed a couple of games, and he's fortunate he didn't suffer more significant injury. But he's always been one of those guys that when he feels great, he thinks he can hit everything. And he knows he's not exactly 100%, so he cuts his swing down, has a better swing. He's got a pretty swing from the left side.
Oh, he sure
Real
does.
fluid swing. And when he squares it up, he can get a long way.
He's got that old classic Charlie Lau, Walt Riniak one-hand release. Big follow through. He's an awfully good player. A ball and 2 strikes. Top back to Kershaw. Barehanded. Knew he had to hurry, and it's not in time.
Well, this is one thing that you see every single time Kevin Kershaw hits the ball on the ground. He gives you everything he's got up the line, and this time he's rewarded with an infield hit. He really explodes out of the box. Kershaw does all he can, but it's too late. Kiermaier passed the bag in time. Watch how he accelerates up the line. I mean, no focus on anything other than beating that throw to the bag, and he does. Well, he can really run.
So the Rays, like the Dodgers, have put their leadoff hitter aboard in every inning tonight. Here's the catcher, Mike Zunino. Zunino 0 for 11 with 5 strikeouts in World Series play. 2 of those strikeouts came against Kershaw Tuesday night. Three leadoff singles, 1 a bunt single, and then the infield single you just saw from Kiermaier. The only one that was well struck was Yandy Diaz's ball to start the ball game.
Yeah, Diaz hit a slider right up the middle for a leadoff single. He was erased on the double play off the bat of Randy Arozarena. Zunino, we talk about all of the problems he's had in the World Series, 0 for 11, but he's got some